Tonight on NewsVision, spring break season is in full swing and college students from all across the nation are flocking to South Florida. Learn more about why this spring break in Miami will be unlike any other in recent years. Plus, the Florida Senate passes the controversial bill nicknamed Don't Say Gay. We will bring you the public's response as the bill heads to Governor DeSantis.
That LGBTQ people simply by existing are a threat to children. That is bigotry. It's at the core of this bill.
And later on, one Middle Eastern tradition has made its way to the University of Miami this week. Find out how this unusual dance is actually promoting healthy practices.
And it helped me to be comfortable in my skin, find myself, love myself, and also value myself enough to not be in an abusive relationship.
These stories and a lot more on tonight's show. NewsVision starts right now.
Hello and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Daryl Barnes.
And I'm Claire O'Connor. Thank you for joining us. Next week is spring break for many colleges, including us. And while most of us will be headed home, tens of thousands of other students are making their way to Miami for their long-awaited break.
And with COVID restrictions dropping by the day, many are calling this spring break the first legitimate one since March 2019.
UMTV reporters David Repka and Isabel Eisenberg have been in South Beach all day and join us live from Ocean Drive to tell us how the city is preparing for the influx of spring breakers.
Yeah, guys, what's it been like?
Guys, spring break is one of Miami Beach's craziest times of the year, and you could tell that spring has sprung from the energy we have seen here today.
That's right, Izzy. We have seen lines outside of bars, restaurants, and the beach is absolutely packed.
Locals and visitors are coming to Miami Beach to see all that it has to offer. And business owners are working crazy hours here as customers and visitors keep on coming in to see all that they have in store.
We always see an increase by 50% of people and revenue, I would say. So we are pretty happy. The beach is full, it's packed.
And business owners aren't the only ones working hard during this hectic time. The beach police have been seen all over the area, making sure that nothing gets too out of hand.
And while there is no curfew this year, Miami Beach did put some new rules in store from now until the end of March. There is no alcohol allowed on the beaches, and alcohol stops being served in South Beach around 2 a.m. Also, no inflatable devices, no loud music, or any tables are allowed to be seen on the public beaches.
Oh, I bet people are breaking the rules. Yeah. Like, why? Who's enforcing? Really? It's spring break. I don't think anyone cares about those rules, to be honest.
While some people may not be following the rules, I do need to say it hasn't been getting too rowdy here tonight.
That's right, Izzy. Thankfully, we haven't been able to see any fights break out just yet tonight, but it's still early.
Well, hopefully everything stays peaceful and the locals and visitors continue to have a good spring break. Reporting live from Ocean Drive for UMTV, I'm Isabel Eisenberg.
And I'm Dave Repka. Back to you guys in the studio.
While the beaches certainly look packed, thanks guys, Miami's popular music festival Ultra is back. After 2 years of cancellations, the festival is set to take place on March 25th at Bayfront Park. Artists such as Afrojack, David Guetta, and Tiesto are all set to perform. The festival is 3 days long, and I'll be there live the night before to get you ready.
Florida State Senate has just passed a bill nicknamed Don't Say Gay. Our reporter Harvey Duplock has the latest on this controversial bill.
Despite the statewide protests,
show the Florida legislature that what they are doing does not represent us.
And the emotional pleas,
I never knew that living my truth would cause church members to leave my dad's church. Or friends to stop talking to me.
22 yeas, 17 nays, Mr. President.
So the bill passes.
Florida's Senate today passed Bill 1557, a bill that essentially bars teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity in the classrooms of young students. The bill calls for procedures to reinforce the fundamental rights of parents and prohibits instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in K through 3rd grade in a manner that is not age appropriate, but doesn't define what that means.
And we're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
There is no curriculum for K through third grade. And so if that's in sex education, so if that's the case, then what are we doing right now? Why is this even necessary?
Florida Democratic and openly gay Senator Chevron Jones argued the bill is a political move that is hurtful to the LGBTQ community. Critics refer to it as the Don't Say Gay bill, even though the bill does not specifically prohibit the use of the word gay. The spokesperson for Governor Ron DeSantis, however, on her personal Twitter account has called it something very different. The anti-grooming bill. Grooming, a predatory practice used by sexual offenders to gain trust and seduce children, which is not in the bill either.
There is an assertion that LGBTQ people simply by existing are a threat to children. That is bigotry. It's at the core of this bill.
The bill now heads to the desk of Governor Ron DeSantis, who is expected to sign it into law.
I think it's inappropriate to be injecting those matters like a transgenderism into a kindergarten classroom.
And to those who think you can legislate gay people away, I'm sorry. You cannot.
That was Harvey Duplack reporting. The families of the victims of the Surfside, Florida condominium collapse have agreed to a $55 million tentative settlement. That money will come from 3 defendants named in the class action wrongful death lawsuit. $16 million will come from the engineering firm that performed a structural analysis in 2018. Another engineering firm has agreed to pay $8.5 million, while the Chaplain Towers South Homeowners Association will pay $31 million. The law firm representing that HOA points out no cause for the collapse has been determined yet. 98 people died when a portion of the high-rise condo building came down in the middle of the night last June.
It's day 13 of the war that Russia launched on neighboring Ukraine, and the exact numbers of casualties on both sides is not known, but some estimate it's tens of thousands. Today, Russia launched an airstrike on one children's hospital in the besieged city of Mariopol, Ukraine. The attack happened during a ceasefire declared by Russian forces to get civilians out of the city, but instead, a bomb was dropped, leaving more than a dozen injured. In Russia, dozens of Western businesses have shut down. The latest, Starbucks, along with McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Goldman Sachs. Meanwhile, more than 2 million Ukrainians have already fled the country, the majority of them to neighboring Poland, where U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is currently visiting.
The United States is absolutely prepared to do what we can and what we must to support Poland in terms of the burden that they have taken on, that I think all of us who understand the moral obligation we should feel to help people who are fleeing harm.
Back in the U.S., the House of Representatives has passed a government funding bill of $13.6 billion to help Ukraine. The emergency money will be for defense, humanitarian aid, and economic assistance. There's also $4 billion set aside for refugees. And if you're looking for ways to help Ukraine refugees, here are 4 organizations that you can donate to: the Global Empowerment Mission in Doral, the Greater Miami Jewish Foundation, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and Razam for Ukraine.
Meanwhile, Americans are dealing with the effects of U.S. sanctions against Russia. The House has banned U.S. imports of Russian oil and other energy sources, causing gas prices to skyrocket. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of regular gas now stands at $4.32. That's the highest price drivers had paid since 2008. In Florida, drivers are paying an average of $4.35, and in Miami, a gallon of gas will cost you $4.34. President Biden blames the increase on Russia.
It's gonna go up. Can't do much right now. Russia's responsible.
A survey has found that 60% of Americans say they will change their driving and lifestyle habits to counter the rising costs of gasoline. That includes driving less, carpooling, and cutting back on things like shopping and dining out.
For one student athlete at the University of Miami, the situation in Ukraine has hit close to home. I talked to a tennis player, Diana Coden, about how she's dealing with the situation in her home country from nearly 6,000 miles away. At the Neil Schiff Tennis Center, it's hard not to hear Diana Coden celebrating after she scores. But it may be even harder to miss Diana cheering for and joking with her teammates.
Let's go, Gaines!
She's definitely had a big personality.
But recently, she's had less to be so excited about. Diana is from Ukraine, where over 8,000 people have evacuated since Russia invaded 2 weeks ago. But with her family still there, she's returning to tennis as an escape.
I think, obviously it's my happy place. So it's helping me a lot right now, I think, because those 3 hours, I'm just like trying to think about just tennis.
And while she focused on tennis, her coaches and team decided to do something more. In their match against Clemson, the team unveiled a patch on their jerseys shaped like Ukraine, showing their support for the girl who's typically their biggest cheerleader. And since Diana can't be with her real family, her team is stepping up to act as one.
If you are looking for lifelong relationships, this is the place to be. So it's definitely bigger than tennis.
And while tennis is Diana's happy place, she's using the rest of this season to stand for something bigger than sports.
I feel like, it's my mission to fight here because my people fight in Ukraine, and when I'm between the lines, I'm also fighting for my country.
And Diana told me that right now her family is safe on the east side of Ukraine, away from the front lines, but the same way she's fighting on the court, she knows that if called upon, her brother is ready to step up and defend his country. Claire?
Thanks, Daryl. Up next, the Don't Say Gay bill may have passed, but this will not stop the kings and queens over at the Shalala Student Center from lacing up tonight. When NewsVision returns, we will take you to one event that highlighted drag culture earlier this week, and UMTV reporter Charlie Hill is live at tonight's Drag Out Drag Show. We will be right back.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
A new student government has been elected at the University of Miami that will take over the current administration at the end of the semester. UM students gathered at the Shalala Center yesterday to meet with elected student senators and discuss different issues of concern, such as limited parking, on-campus dining, and cognate requirements. Student government Senate meetings are always open to the public, but this meeting was the first specifically focused on open forum discussion. Student senators took note of their peers' concerns and facilitated the open forum that emerged. They promised they will bring the issue to the attention of UM faculty.
And Mr. Worldwide is making a stop in the 305. The UM organization What Matters to You will host Grammy Award winner Pitbull for its last speaker of the school year. The popular singer has established a career as a motivational speaker and will now talk to UM students on March 29th. No word yet on when tickets will be released, though. The UM LGBTQ club called Spectrum has held many of its events online over the past 2 years. But yesterday, it dragged its members out to the Shalala ballrooms for its first in-person drag out since 2019. Reporter Charlie Hill is back at the ballrooms for the second night of the event and joins us now live. Charlie, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Daryl, in just less than an hour, this ballroom will be filled for the 9th annual charity and fundraising drag out event. The event is being hosted by student organization Spectrum. Students and drag royalty performers will be performing right here on this stage behind me. To kick off the two-day event, Spectrum hosted a drag panel where students got the chance to ask drag performers questions such as, what is your daily life like? What makeup should I use? And how does being in drag affect your gender identity? Sophomore Veronica Gagan hosted the panel and says she was happy to be back in person.
We're really excited because this is our first year back. We've been virtual because of COVID, but this is our first big in-person drag out with the ballroom and all the lights and production and the drag queens and kings in person, so we're really excited.
The event last night kicked off the two-day celebration with the drag performance starting in just less than an hour right here in the Shalala ballrooms. Proceeds from tonight's event will not only benefit the student organization, but it would also benefit SAGE, Advocacy and Services for LGBTQ Elders. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Charlie Hill.
Thank you, Charlie. And Claire, it looked like something a little interesting going on.
Yep.
Kicking off for spring break, though?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually heading out west. I'm getting ready to put my ski boots on.
Oh, okay. That'll be something interesting. Definitely a change up from Miami weather.
Exactly.
But spring break is coming up, and many students have travel plans already. But we have forecaster Jared Maloney here to tell us what's happening here in the MIA.
Jared, will I have any problems getting out of Miami and onto the slopes in Utah?
Yeah, well, right now we're looking clear right here, but as we go further north into Florida, we have some thunderstorms in the area, so that has caused some flight delays earlier today, and if anyone's coming out tonight, you'll get delays due to that. So once you take off, though, you should be good to go. And let's look at the rest of the country right now. There is not much going on at all, as we see all over the place, very little precipitation happening, not many areas of high winds, and that's not going to continue for all that long. As we head to our future cast here, we have a couple of areas where we have potential travel disruptions from this large East Coast system that's going to be forming heading into Saturday, down south with some thunderstorms in Florida and some winter precipitation up in the Northeast. Now let's see as that plays off here, as we have this storm starting to come together in the Southeast, and that's going to push towards on Friday into Saturday and cause some flight disruptions all along the East Coast. But once you get through Saturday, you should be looking good. So if anybody's got flights on Sunday, that'll be good. But Saturday, you might have some delays if you're getting out or if you have friends or family coming in. The rest of the country, though, once you get past that, should be fine. We have a front associated with that, which is going to be coming through. So for those of us who are staying in Miami, we're going to get dew points in the 50s as we head into Sunday and Monday, and they're going to recover to being muggy again. But we'll take that little break that we have from the super muggy conditions. We had dew points in the 70s today. Ugh, brutal. And across the country for the next week, we have above average temperatures in the east, and we have above average temperatures in the west. So all across the country, there's no areas of below average temperatures. So if you're heading back home and you're worried about getting too cold, you shouldn't be too much. Claire, your ski trip, may be a little bit warmer than normal, but I think you'll be fine in the mountains. Tonight's forecast, though, 73, mostly calm and clear. Will still be muggy. It's a warm night. Tomorrow will be in the lower to mid 80s, sunny and muggy again, but we do have those dew points dropping as that cold front comes through on Saturday. That high temperature on Saturday is something to watch because that may be a potential daily record high, but also that might not happen. If the cold front comes through an hour or two earlier, we're not going to get temperatures quite that high, but as we see later on there, we have a drop off into Sunday, and those temperatures will recover to Monday, Tuesday to be typical Miami spring break stuff. So get out your pants and put on your swim trunks and have some fun if you're staying down here.
Thank you, Jared. Hopefully we have some blue skies in time for spring break. I'm Regina Potenza, and coming up on sports, Canes baseball battles rival UF and both basketball teams competing in the ACC tournament. I will have details when NewsVision returns. Don't go anywhere.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Hello, I'm Regina Potenza, and welcome to sports. Get your baseball caps ready and mitts out because Major League Baseball is officially back on April 7th. The lockout started in December when the Players Association did not agree to the original deal the owners proposed. This led to months of negotiations between the two parties over issues such as raising the league minimum salary, implementing measures that would prevent players from purposefully tanking a game, and possible rule changes like a pitch clock and larger bases. But good news for baseball fans, as just 2 hours ago, Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association have finally reached an agreement on a new labor deal. The terms of the agreement have not yet been released. Canes baseball suffered its first series loss of the season last weekend, dropping 2 of 3 games to rival Florida. The Hurricanes took the first game of the series on Friday night, winning 5-2 behind Yoandy Morales' 2-run home run. After that game, it was all downhill for Miami, dropping the next 2 games by a combined final score of 19-4. The Canes were able to bounce back on Tuesday, defeating FIU 12-5 in their first road game of the season. From the baseball diamond to the basketball court, Miami women's basketball had quite a run in last week's ACC tournament. In the quarterfinals against Louisville, Destiny Harden nailed this clutch jumper at the buzzer to send Miami to the next round. The Canes stayed hot and beat Notre Dame in the semifinals to reach the championship game against NC State. UM's run ended with a 60-47 loss. Head coach Katie Meyer said after playing 4 days in a row, her team just ran out of gas.
Our emotional fuel tank was a little empty on the 4th day. I just saw behavior in my team, a little bit of, like staring at the ref and asking for a foul. I haven't acted like that all year. And
sticking with hoops, the men's basketball team took on Boston College today in the ACC tournament. The game went down to the wire and was decided on the final play. The game is tied up at 69 with 4.8 seconds left in overtime when Charlie Moore, what does he do? He throws a full court dime to Jordan Miller from behind half court with 1 second left. Jordan Miller lays it to give the Canes a 71-69 victory. Miami advances to the ACC tournament semifinals. UM will play against Duke, the #1 seed. Miami beat Duke earlier this season and look to make it 2 straight against the Blue Devils. One senior UM student is turning heads on the basketball court. UMTV reporter Blake Atwell spoke with the student and joined us with details. Blake?
Michael Moss is setting records in the sport of basketball here at the University of Miami, but he's not doing so in the way you may think.
Red, I told him good job. I'm like,
basketball has been the center of Michael Moss's world since the 3rd grade. Growing up, playing the sport was his favorite thing to do, until one moment changed everything, when he broke his ankle during his freshman year of high school. But Michael was determined to not let the injury keep him away from the game.
I've always wanted to stay around the game, and I knew that I wasn't going to play professionally, I wasn't going to play collegiately, and I kind of had to find something that was going to keep me involved in the game and keep me around sports and in that realm.
That something started with a whistle. Michael tried refereeing. He started doing it as a way to stay close to the court while he recovered from his injury. But 8 years later, Michael is hooked.
Having played basketball, I had a pretty good basketball IQ, so that kind of helped me progress and be able to move up faster.
And move up fast he has. Michael refereed youth league games as a high school student, and after high school, he brought his talents to the University of Miami. When Michael got to the U, he started refereeing intramural games like this one, here right behind me, at the Wellness Center. But this is not the only place Michael has gained experience refereeing in college. Right now, Michael is a senior at the U. He's been refereeing high school games in the Miami area for 4 years now. And last month, he was chosen to referee this year's Florida State Championship game in women's basketball.
I honestly didn't think it was going to happen this year, but when I got the call that I was selected, I was at loss for words.
At 22 years old, the selection made Michael the youngest person to referee a women's basketball state championship game in Florida history.
Biggest moment and takeaway from the game was stepping on the floor for the first time that morning and just during pregame warm-ups, I was kind of just soaking in the moment and kind of just enjoying it.
Those closest to Michael were not shocked to see him set the record, including Colin Carter, who referees intramural games with him.
I wasn't that surprised. I thought it was bound to happen sooner or later, but it definitely happened sooner rather than later, and I was proud of him, and that was really a big accomplishment for him.
The bonds Michael's built with people like Colin give him all the motivation he needs to keep going.
Some of my best friends that I've met are because of the game of basketball, and that's kind of why I stay in it, is because of the relationships I've built with other fellow referees, players, coaches, and that truly that's why I love doing it. Play basketball, have fun, all right? Good luck, guys.
Michael is on track to graduate in May from UM with degrees in business law and sports management. After graduation, he hopes to earn a job with a professional sports league, managing referees. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Blake Atwell.
Thank you, Blake. We will take another short break now, but when we return, we will take you to one event that taught UM students a unique way to dance and move their bodies. NewsVision will be right back.
What do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. The Patricia A. Whiteley Women's Leadership Symposium empowers and celebrates women within the UM community. And on Monday, it hosted one event that featured a lot of rhythm and movement, but it did not just inspire women. The culture of the Middle East made its way to the center of UM's campus Monday night to master the craft of belly dancing.
It's empowering. I love teaching the belly dance because it's unique for most women and it gets them to try something new and different, and that's half the battle, getting out there and trying something new.
The cultural dance that takes on various styles all over the world is not just for women.
I'm just here to appreciate the art of belly dancing. If I were to then be all up in arms of, oh, well, I'm a guy, I can't move my hips like that, then I'm missing out on an important experience that can really show me how other people exist. And it gives me a good perspective when I'm able to step out of my comfort zone or step out of society's comfort zone.
Whiteley Women's Leadership Symposium hosted the event, and it was taught by a professional belly dancing choreographer. She says the impact of belly dancing is more than rhythm and movement.
Belly dancing saved my life. It was something I discovered in college after being in an abusive relationship and also experiencing body image disorders. And it helped me to be comfortable in my skin, find myself, love myself, and also value myself enough to not be in an abusive relationship.
With her dancing and words of encouragement, she hopes to inspire the next generation of belly dancers.
It moved me so much that I wanted to share that passion and joy with others and help other women heal and become empowered through belly dance. It was that important to me.
I loved that she kept reminding us to relax, to let go and just have fun with it. Taking time to forget about hitting a certain bar or making sure I'm hitting a certain standard really did, kind of reset things, especially on a long Monday.
Good job, okay. The Whiteley Women's Leadership Symposium is hosting another event later this month. Florida State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle will be the keynote speaker on March 25th. You can register at www.ed/WWLS. You know, Daryl, that was so much fun to be in that room. I just wanted to hop in and join.
Why didn't you? I mean,
because I would have probably lowered, the vibes in that room if I tried to get in there and dance.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering how good we would look in one of those skirts.
Those belts?
But that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you for joining us.
We will be back in 2 weeks with another edition of NewsVision. Until then, have a great night and a restful spring break.